These are
Hi,
my thoughts.
everyone. Welcome to Adelante with
Let
Arlene.
me
I'm your host,
inspire you.
Arlene. It's been a while I haven't been on. You all know I am recovering and recovering well after 5 months. I am now walking without any kind of aids, and still, it takes a good year for me to get the correct and the proper mobility. But I'm getting there, guys. Thank you for your thoughts and prayers. Today, I want to get right to it. I want to ask you to please subscribe to my channel, uh, and I will be showing up on other venues as best I could as I start working now. It causes me to have limited time again, and everything starts to lag. And I work really, really, really hard on these videos and don't have much time to do them these days, but they're in my heart. Today, I want to talk about how many of us, which includes me, pretty much in my past, not in my present, we tend to play the blame game. I'm going to be quick about it, so therefore, there's a lot of areas I won't be touching, speaking about, but I do elaborate more on long form in my video, and I will be doing that as soon as I can. Blame. When things go wrong, many times, because they have happened and gone wrong outside of our control, we like to blame others for it. We like to blame others for our hurt. We like to blame others for um, whatever state that we're in. If we are stressed out, we like to blame others. If we don't succeed in what we want, we like to blame others. Someone didn't give me a chance. Someone didn't fired me. Someone, whatever it might be. And I'm going to tell you that for a long time, I thought like that too. And I mean a long time, like maybe 30 something plus years ago. What changed? What changed was, and I'll get into it a little bit more later, is when I became a Christian, when I gave my heart to the Lord, when I started serving God, when I started studying the Word, when I started getting to know myself better, I realized that I had to stop blaming others and giving all that power, per se, to other people for whatever I was going through or had gone through. Now, it is not to say that others cannot contribute to making our lives impossible, uncomfortable, hurtful. No, I'm not saying that at all. They might be able to contribute, but blaming them just shifts it all upon them, and it doesn't allow us to grow, to check, to see if there was anything we could have done different. Uh, Not to blame ourselves, but to process better and clearer. Also, to allow us to see what might have, in some cases, gotten us into a situation and a circumstance that's negative and uncomfortable, what decisions we made, what led up to that, and why. But also, it helps us take our power back and to allow ourselves to heal and to become wiser and to move forward, seguir adelante, and not carry this constantly throughout our entire life, all the way till we're even a lot older. Why do I say that? Well, I think at one time or another, we've all gotten blamed for something, right? If it wasn't, if you would have, if you would have, if you wouldn't have, then maybe, yeah, it's a language that's very common amongst abusers. When you've been verbally abused, as I had been growing up by one of my parents, you tend to constantly hear that language, constantly hear that language. And and sometimes you pick it up and you end up blaming others too out of your not knowing how to handle, being accustomed to what you've heard. And while you didn't like feeling like you were being blamed for things and everything that happened wrong, you also tend to pick up that same habit and maybe treated others the same way or thought of others the same way. The part of my maturing came, my emotional maturing came more later in life, more through my walk in the Lord and through support groups for adult children of alcoholics and even the AA support group program. It taught and it teaches. me to be accountable. And the word of God says this clearly, um, for myself, present. If someone fired me, it hurt me. It might have been out of um, no blame of my own. Most all the time, it was the same way. None that I had done wrong. I now can process something like that better than I processed it then if it would happen. While it hurts and it made me feel disappointed, and for a moment I wanted to regress to my old behavior of what did I do? What could I have done better? Sometimes I realize, and you may realize that there's nothing you could have done better. You did it all. You did what you were supposed to do. But those people, the organization, the job just didn't have a place for you anymore, or they just didn't want you around anymore. That's how people are. So instead of blaming, I now see it as, yeah, a gift from God. At the beginning, I might see it really harder, obviously, because I start freaking out about, oh, finances, about this, about that, or choices I made, or this, or but when I put my trust upon God, I realize that He has control of all things. If I turn them over to Him willingly, He will show me the new way to go, the new direction. For years, I prayed for a work from home job. And now I find myself sometimes complaining. Why? I'm complaining because there's something inside of me that wants to still be a creative person. As you all know, some of you know, I was a recording artist that wants to still create music, that still wants to have flexibility. But I need to pay for the house. And at this time, music doesn't give me that luxury, right? So what do I do? I started feeling like the full-time job was really snuffing out my energy, cutting off my creativity. And I decided to find a way prayerfully to be able to balance both. That's right, to balance both and to take the direction that God would lead me. And that if one day my hours, I will cut my hours, it will be me who will ask to cut my hours so that I can still be creative, but still be making another income in order to be able to live on realistically in this earth and help as my husband also does. As we both work and we're both a creative people. So we always think that we can't do something, many of us, because someone else took that away from me, that advantage, that chance to do it. As I'm getting older, and as again, I'm continuously walking with the Lord, I'm realizing that no one can stop me from pursuing something positive in my life and giving it a try, something different, or even something that's evolved with a newer approach. No one can stop me but myself. Not age, as you've seen many that you might see, especially many women who are now reinventing themselves and moving onward and trying new things in life and no longer just sitting by the TV or being the grandma that respectfully used to be of long ago, um, more of the a caretaker taker and the homebody. Instead, they are still movers and shakers in this world, making differences, making changes, making a positive influence, even in their mature age. When anybody tells me, if you wouldn't have done this, then I could have still been doing this. You're giving me too much power because there's nothing I can do to stop you from doing what you really wanted to do. People will hurt you, people will betray you, people will disappoint you, and maybe people won't be doing any of the above as I hadn't been doing to do that ever to hurt anybody. But you received it as that, and it stopped you and blocked you from moving forward and from siguiendo adelante, from realistically checking yourself out, as I have to check myself out to see what part we play in this world. What part do we play in that situation, that circumstance? Is there anything we could have done differently? Well, I know this, like I said, if I get fired, well, what do? I have to process, move forward. If I go through what I just went through and hurt myself and can't go, can't work, couldn't work till now. I'm going to start work next week. And I couldn't do this or I couldn't do that. Was anybody to blame that I just happened to fall, that I just happened to fall by myself, not tripping over anything? My knee gave out and I just happened to fall and hurt myself. Is there anybody to blame? Well, at the moment I'm angry. Yeah. And at the moment I'm saying, how could this be? How could this be? And in my mind, I want to blame different scenarios and different things, not even people, just things and circumstances. And then I realized that, much later on, like maybe recently, I realized more that I should have taken more time to think about what this time was affording me, what opportunity was this time giving me. I know it now that I'm going back to work. And this time that I've had has given me an opportunity, first of all, to trust God that He is our provider and He has provided. It also has given me the opportunity to push to create even beyond my physical limitations, um, to get in better physical shape for myself, my well being, a step at a time, a minute at a time, gradually, as I am called to do, so that I can heal and so that I can have more stamina, so that I can do those creative things that I love to do. The time that I griped was because I was uncomfortable with the change. So I wanted to look at all the reasons and all the, the circumstances to blame. When in reality, there are times you can't blame anybody, and we shouldn't be blaming anybody anyway. And the reality is that we should just see it for what it is and see what we can do to make the situation better. Yeah, even when I was laid out in bed, immobilized, even when my leg was in that brace till just about a month and a half ago, and was strapped up, and even when it messed my hand up because I was clenching so hard to the crutches and then the cane, and now I have my finger locks a lot on me. Even even all that even all that happens to me and happened to me should not stop me from moving forward. And today I tell you that I know your circumstances might be a little harder and more difficult. I don't know you. You might be going through so much, but put your trust in God. Because even when I complained and even when I wanted to say, whatever, even when I tend to put a little blame out there for whatever it might be, person or place or thing, God pulls me back and makes me realize that I can't turn my power over to those outside things, things outside myself. I could just reel myself back, center myself with Him, trust in Him, seek Him, and continue to understand that while we are still breathing, there's still opportunity for growth and change. And that while change for some, as myself, is not easy, change can be great. And while sometimes we think that we are limited and we cannot do something, God shows us we can do all things through Him that strengthens us. Today, I hope that if you are playing that blame game, you pull yourself back and center yourself and seek the Lord and allow yourself to be liberated from blaming others or blaming yourself. Give yourself some love, some self care, forgive yourself, forgive others, even if they don't have to be in your life anymore, and allow yourself to be free to walk in the newness and the liberty that God has created for you, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Thank you for tuning in to Adelante with Arlene. Please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and I would ask you to please share my videos. It's getting harder and harder for me to do these, but I'm going to continue to push forward. Seguir adelante, that's what it means, to move forward. And I'll be doing new music at the end of the year. I'll be doing some videos. I want to get in better shape and physically stable, in my stamina, in my being able to stand the way I need to stand, move the way I need to move, so that I can do this music video. I'll be doing it with my friend Freddie Lopez, and I have chosen to do it according to my terms, according to the leading of God, versus the expectations of others. I am here to create and I create music as I am touched by God to create. It doesn't have to be Christian music. I am the Christian, but it will be music. Stay tuned to some more videos. Please check out my playlists. And remember, as I say at the end of every video and every podcast, until
Sigue
next time,
adelante.
sigue adelante.
Don't forget to subscribe to Adelante with Arlene and share, share, share. Share my videos and inspire someone else.